Good morning, people. Ooh, my ring light is bright today. I'm Sandy. Welcome to Socially Branded. I am a social media coach to entrepreneurs, and what I do is help them get their content to bring results. I take them from invisible to unmistakable. I want to thank you for joining me on the replay, and today we are starting on part 1 of Instagram stories. So let's dive right in. It's a hot feature, you guys. Okay, so first, what is a story? An Instagram story is when you go to your Instagram page and you open up your feed, which is where you're scrolling and you're looking through all the pictures there. At the very top, there's gonna be these circles with people's faces in them. And those faces are your friends that you follow that have created stories. If you tap on that circle will reveal their, I guess it's like a series of 15-second clips or photos that they've put together to share with you. They basically are taking you through your day. My dog is playing with his toy. Oh my goodness. Okay, of all times, right? So these stories do only last 24 hours. So the need to watch them is very... Sorry, I'm so trying to do this. Okay, so it does only last 24 hours, so the need to watch them is there. You know, like you don't want to miss what your friends have posted for you, right? So why use stories? So for me, personally, I love to use Instagram stories because they are building relationships. You know, I get to know people so much better on Instagram stories than I do, like, say, in the feed or something like that. We are pretty much instantly talking. My friend Chelsea Pites, she wrote a book a few years back, and I'm going to quote her. So I'm going to read the quote because she really lays it out perfectly. And she said, "We have a special part of our brains dedicated to only facial recognition. When you can see someone every day, eye to eye, and talk to them directly, which are all the features that we could use in the DM on Instagram stories, when we can do these things, we become relatable. When you're relatable, you become relevant." Now, isn't that always what we're striving for with our content, to be relatable and relevant? So that was awesome. Now, she wrote that about Snapchat, but Snapchat, you know, it's totally applicable here and on Facebook stories, on YouTube stories, LinkedIn stories, no matter where it is, video in general. I think it's totally applicable. Okay, it's because there's no... Okay, so sorry, I moved on too quickly. My dog is really throwing me for a loop. Oh my goodness. All right, so how can you use Instagram stories to build your brand? First of all, I want you guys to start watching other people's Instagram stories. This is how you're gonna get a feel for even doing it, okay? So there's no right or wrong way of doing them. Everybody has a different way of even doing them. Good morning, Kristen. Everyone has a different way of doing them, and they're not usually too curated like a feed would be, but because people want to be more relatable, you know, they're just themselves, you know, on there. So I definitely want you to start watching them. Like I was saying, there's no right or wrong way to do it. What you want to do is make sure that you're becoming relatable. You are real to your ideal client, okay? And only you can determine this, because everyone has a different target market. So you're going to be able to figure that out. You know, honestly, the more you share yourself, people will join you because they resonate with you, right? All right. So after doing your homework of watching stories and kind of seeing the lay of the land and all that good stuff, I want you to start posting. I want you to start practicing. How else are you going to do this, right? So definitely start doing that. And what you can start doing is posting where maybe your morning routine. You can share your fur baby business companion, you know, playing with the toys at the wrong time. You can share a project that you're working on, whether it be, you know, a sale of a house, you know, which house, you know, what's going on there, you know, some new rules that are going on that are being presented. You could share, you know, like a product or a service that you have, but basically share. Why I say to share these things is because we are doing what Gary Vee says. We are earning our opportunity to be that personal brand. And, you know, there is that that's crazy statistic that more than half of adults don't trust a brand unless they can see them doing what they say they do. What a perfect way to do that is to take them with you along in your Instagram stories and showing them what you do. Kristen is live with me now, and Kristen and I, get together when it's not COVID time, and we do coffee, we talk business, we do all that. We're friends in the church, all that stuff. So I could show that when I'm with her, and I'm showing that I'm doing my work that I say that I do, as well as here's my real life and my real friend, right? So really showing them, taking them along for the ride, for the day, right? Doing the work that you say that you're going to do. So you'll want to create stories on a consistent basis, which is pretty much like any content. It needs to be consistent. You need to stay, relevant, first to mind, all of that good stuff. So there's no limit to how little or how many stories that you can have, but I will give a little, kind of tip. When you open up someone's story, at the very top, there's these white lines, and the white lines kind of become, they start out big, but then they get smaller and smaller and smaller with the amount of stories, the amount of 15-second clips or photos that they're adding to the story. That determines the length of the story. So in the beginning, if you only have just a few lines in there, maybe they only have 2 or 3 stories, but if they start getting smaller and smaller, these little lines, like as if it's like a sewing stitch, there's a ton of stories to watch. This is what I would watch out for. Unless it is that, you are delivering valuable content, you're educating, you're really showing product or whatever it is that's valuable to your ICA client. Your ICA client. Why did I say that? I am having a day. Your ideal client avatar is ICA. Unless it is that you're delivering that stuff, maybe people might not want to watch that long of a story. I know sometimes I tend to skip out if I know that person might just be talking and they're just my friend and I might not need to know that. And so this is where you have to determine what type of, good morning, Olga, what type of content you want to push out. You don't want them leaving your story. So you have to determine how long or how little it is. And only you can tell, because again, these are your ideal clients. All right, so the other things that you want to do is, the other reason I want to say is you're competing with other people. They're not just watching your story. Just look at your stories. There's probably at least 20 people creating stories. So we're competing with all of these other people and we want them to watch our stories. So you have to determine those. All right, and so you'll want to engage. There's a lot of features like the stickers that you can create engagement. You really can convert in your DMs here using the stickers features, having a call to action. You want to do all of those things. But what I would say to you is that watch next week, because I'm going to get into using those features in part 2. So if you have an Instagram username that you are creating stories on, please drop it. I want to know who you are if I'm not already following you guys. Kim taps through if it's too long. Many people do. But drop your Instagram username and I will go ahead and follow, and you guys connect with each other if you guys see your Instagram names in there and see how other people are doing it, and that way it's going to help you determine, oh, I can add this, or no, I don't want to do that. I don't like this, or whatever. This won't resonate with my target market. So definitely do that. So drop your Instagram user name there, and then tune in next week. Tune in next week for part 2, and I'm going to tell you how to use those features so that you can have people in the DMs, and these are your leads, people. These are your leads. All right, have a great Monday. Make it productive. Hey, Yolanda, thanks for joining. You'll have to watch a replay now. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.